Good morning to you all. This is the Foxes Fan Zone show, and I certainly am not Jamie, who is on his holidays going off. I think he's at the airport at the moment. He is going to sunny Jamaica for a bit of a well-earned break. As you know, Jamie runs the Foxes Arms and all summer slugs his guts out, so he tells us. I just think he sits the wrong side of the bar, if you ask me, sipping too many San Miguel's. But listen, he's on his holidays, so you've got me for this morning. Jamie said to me, he said, listen, I always do the show. He said, I want you to do exactly the same, even though he's normally sat in Al Kudu. He says, grab yourself a cup of tea. As you can see the steam coming off my cup of tea this morning. Good morning, Lewis, Cato, how are you? Dave Loseby, how are you? Jamie says, Carl Paul's watching. Hi, Carl. Get your views in, get your comments in, guys. But Jamie said, grab yourself a cup of tea, go and sit outside, enjoy the sunshine, and do the fans Foxes Aftermath show for me while I'm going to Jamaica. I went, oh, cheers for that, Jamie. Anyway, good morning, Keith Pawley. Becky Hunt, how are you? As you can see, Jamie's not here. He's on his holidays. Brad Norman, how are you? You can get your comments into me. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do it outside. I am in, as you can see, not Alcudia. I'm in leafy Leicestershire somewhere. You can perhaps hear the birds tweeting. No dogs barking. You often get dogs barking on Jamie's show. I'm sure we'll get a few dogs barking later. But what I want to know, Keith Pawley, good morning. Jasmine Rugg, how are you? Becky Hunt. Dale Hines, good morning to you. Oliver Lacey. The missus sent you outside for this one, says Oliver. It wasn't the missus, it was Jamie from the Foxes Arms. He said, get outside and do the Foxes Aftermath show. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Get your comments in, get your views in. A few more hellos. Stelios, good morning to you. Simon Gimson, how are you, Simon? Graham Ball, Susan Elliott, good morning to you. Jordan Williams, how are you, Jordan? Get your views in. Neil Halfpenny, what did you think to the Wigan win? 2-0. I thought VAR let us off a little bit yesterday with that decision against them. At a bit of a crucial time, if that goal had gone in, could they have come back into the match? To be fair, I think it was comfortable all the way. But get your views in to you. Gareth Taylor, I'm very well. How are you? Apologies, it's not Jamie this morning. We're allowed to give him a couple of days off, aren't we, here and there? He does so much for Leicester Fan TV. Gary Michael, good morning to you. Graham Ball says, Barnes played brilliant up front. He did do well, didn't he, Graham? I thought Harvey Barnes had a good game yesterday. It's been a bit in if and out this season. He's played a lot of matches, he's got some dazzling feet. There was a move in the first half yesterday with Harvey Barnes, little 1-2s with, I think it was Damari Gray. Keeper saved it off his chest. Great little move. Harvey Barnes just doesn't quite get enough goals for us. Got one yesterday, obviously, but Graham Ball says Barnes played brilliant up front. Do you agree with what Graham says? Marius says, interesting to see Barnes playing the Vardy role. Hi from sunny Goa. Sunny Goa, it's not that sunny here in Leicestershire land, I can tell you, Marius. To be fair, it's been worse. It's not too cold. A cup of tea is keeping me warm. Cliff Moulds is watching. Cliff, what did you think to yesterday's game? What did you think to... talk about centre-back issues. We've been rumoured to be interested in a couple of centre-backs. Obviously, Wes Morgan went off yesterday. Benkovic went off yesterday. Fuchs got no problem playing at centre-back. Are we all of a sudden a little bit light there, maybe? Do we need to reinforce that? Also, saw some ridiculous rumours, and I'm going to say they're ridiculous, about Kagla Sayonku being of interest to Man City. I've also read reports that, no, Man City are not interested. No, we can't be selling Sayonku to anybody at this stage of our season. That would be just ridiculous of us, wouldn't it? Rob Sturgis says, Barnes scores a goal at last. Alex Green is watching. Good morning, Alex. How are you? Auntie Karen Kennel's watching. How are you, Auntie Karen? Let us know what your views are. Dave Loseby says, we played okay yesterday, but too many CDMs, no through balls coming from midfield. Well, that's sort of what you get, Dave, if you play Pape Mende and Hamza Chowdhury. It's a recipe for that type of game, isn't it? Becky Hunt, good morning. How are you? Andy Medhurst says, looks like we never got out of first gear. I agree with you, Andy. I think yesterday's match was very, very straightforward. I was speaking to my lads about it, and it says it shows you how far we have come on as a club, if you ask me. We brought on, obviously, Sayonku plays first team normally. If a £17 million, Benkovic is £16 million. If you went through the value of every single Leicester City player who played yesterday, that team would probably total, I don't know, 180, 220 million pounds. Wigan's team, you could probably go and buy that. No offence to them, you could probably go and buy Wigan's team for under 20 million. it is different. We have moved into a different league now. Andy Medhurst says Gray needs to stop being selfish. That's interesting. Lewis Cato says, watch it on a foreign channel. The atmosphere sounded really good. Well, it was good. It was a good opportunity, Lewis, for lots of fans who don't necessarily always get down to the matches. There was a lot of different fans down there yesterday, which is great. Gray Richardson joined us saying, sorry for being late. Don't worry, Gray, it's me, Phil. Jamie is off. I'm going to say he's going to be already there. He's not quite there. He's at the airport, I think, now. But Jamie will be getting a pina colada and a fat cigar and sitting on his balcony. Alex Green says, ignore the rumours, they're mostly poop, which I would agree with you. Neil Birchenough says, not great yesterday, but the job done. Neil, that's really all you have to do, is to get past these rounds in the early rounds. Wigan, it was a potential banana skin, but like I say, I just think we are far too good in strength for teams like Wigan, who are not having a great season. It would have been a complete shock for them to come to the King Power yesterday and pick anything up. I mean, I know there's always a few strange results in the FA Cup in these rounds, but I never thought Leicester was going to be one of them yesterday. I do think, I'll say VAR, I think it annoys most people. I'm trying to be fair about it. I thought VAR, for their goal that was ruled off, I just think, again, it was incredible. From what I've seen, it looked incredibly close, and I just think it is spoiling the game, because that would have made it a much more interesting FA Cup game if, with, 20 odd minutes to go, Wigan had made it 2-1. It would have at least made it interesting. Paul Bird is saying I'm laughing. Rumours of Maddison to Man United for 45 million and Jesse Lingard coming our way. I can't believe that in a minute. Don't get me wrong. I think Maddison is I think Man United was his childhood team. I think he's come out and said that. I wouldn't rule out that one day Maddison could go to Man United, but why? Nobody's going to leave Leicester this January unless we want them to. Dave Loseby says Benkovic looked very composed and comfortable on the ball, just needs to stay fit and could be a class player. Well, obviously the guys, Brendan Rodgers had him up at Celtic, didn't he? Thought he looked good. Neil Birchenough says, well done to the UFS, the Union FS lads, who contributed to the match atmosphere. Yes, they had a block in the Kop, didn't they? Get your views in on that. Do you think that helped? I've suggested before that it would be nice if there was a section of the King Power that was what I would call open seating, i.e. you got a ticket, maybe if it was the Kop, you got a ticket to that area, but you were allowed to sit anywhere you wanted, like some cinemas do. You don't have a reserved seat, you have a reserved seat in the block, and the block is open. That way you could go and sit with your mates, sit all together. It would probably cause a bit of confusion for the stewards to try and sort out, because you'd have that last minute, well, where's the seat? But it would, open seating is what I call that. I don't know if anybody runs that. I just thought that could work. Jordan Williams says, well done again to the Union FS lads. Hats off to them. They created a great atmosphere. Well, it was a bit of a trial by the club, but it was interesting. I know a few fans were upset because their season tickets were moved. What do you need? Andy Medhurst is stirring the pot. We will talk about transfers. Who do we need? So get your views in on who you think we need to get in. David Hart says, I was dead in line with the VAR offside incident and he called offside straight away. Well, David, I've seen it on replay. I think it's incredibly close. It doesn't matter. The game's over. Jasmine Rugg saying the atmosphere was great in SK1 yesterday, which is good. Should we try it again, Jasmine, do you think? Neil Halfpenny says, so, on to Villa. Everybody should be fresh. Full strength team. Let's go to Wembley again. I like that. Let's go to Wembley again. Neil, you're obviously my age, where it feels like we go to Wembley every year. It's been 20 years since we've been there, apart from the Community Shield match, obviously, which was a bit of a damp squid, if I'm honest. The Community Shield. Don't know what it was about that. First one I've ever been to, but just didn't have the edge of a proper match. So I'm certainly fingers crossed for a trip to Wembley in, I think it's March the 1st, isn't it? Bazza says, where's Jamie? Yes, sorry, Bazza. Jamie is on holiday. The Fox's Arms man himself is on his way to Jamaica. So get the pina coladas ready, but he is off for a couple of weeks. I'm covering this week. I think it's going to be Simon next week. Jamie told me, like I said, get outside, do the show just like he would do all the way. But he normally does it in about 18 to 30 degrees in the sunshine of Alcudia. I'm in Leicestershire here, which is why I'm bobbling around. I'm trying to keep warm. Good morning, Brett. How are you? Don't forget, join us tomorrow night on the Fan Zone show. I've got a new look Fan Zone show for you tomorrow night. Hopefully you'll like some of the things we're going to be doing on that. Also, I'm looking for fans if they want to come on live to the Fan Zone show via a video link. Again, if you want to do that, I'll be putting out some links tomorrow and you can come into it as well. Colin Johnson says, don't forget the Charity Shield hasn't been that long. I agree, Colin. I've not forgotten the Community Shield. Went there, obviously that was Man United in the summer of 2016. I don't know what it was. If you went to that match, I know most of you probably did go to that match, certainly didn't have the edge of a playoff final. I don't think anything, for me, nothing beats a playoff final at Wembley. They are the most exciting matches in the world. Even I find playoff matches more exciting at Wembley than cup finals. Cup finals are great, but the Community Shield it didn't have that edge, and I don't know why. Brett's saying it does look a tad fresh. It's nice out here. At least it's not raining. Imagine if Jamie had said go and do it outside, but it's been raining. Anyway, if you can like and share this video, that would always help. Thank you for that. Neil Birchenough says, Jared Bowen from Hull would be a great buy. A few people, Neil, have said Jared Bowen from Hull. Let me know, Jared, why do you think we should sign him? What does he offer to the club? And let me know that about any transfers, who you think we should get involved with. You know me, my first name there I'm going to shout out is Mitrovic from Fulham. I still think he'd be a good player for Leicester. I think he'd be a bit of a plan B. I think he could play with Jamie Vardy. I think he could come off from the bench. He can certainly score goals. He can muscle around. For me, I keep saying it, he can handle the Premier League. And I know of interest, he is being rumoured to be linked with clubs, not Leicester City. I think he's linked with teams like Aston Villa and a couple of others in the Premier League. But that's my name in the hat, is Mitrovic from Fulham. I think we need a striker. I think the fact yesterday that we played Barnes up front, which sort of worked, you would say, but I think we need that. Luke Harrison, anyway, says, buzzing for the Villa game. Let's smash Villa again, dirty Villa, and get 1 foot in the final. I agree. I think we need to get that early goals against Villa and then come on and score as many as we can and kill the game in the first half. Ross Howard, good evening, Ross. Good evening, good morning even, Ross. Says, I'll be at the King Power on Wednesday night. I'll see you there, Ross. Says, I can't wait, 3-0 Leicester. Keep getting, that cup of tea's keeping me warm. Gray Richardson says, when we beat the Villa, who do we want, Man United or City? Great, I'm not even going to get into that debate yet because I know you have to beat Villa first. So we're not even going to debate that one, Gray. You can keep that one until, as David Hart says, we've smashed the Villa, which I do hope we do. I've just said it. Colin Johnson says, get in the pool. Look, I'll show you down here, look. There's my equivalent of Jamie's pool, a dirty looking pond. There, I am not going in that. It doesn't matter if I got to 200 viewers like Jamie always says. Jamie says in the summer, doesn't he? 200 viewers, I'm in the pool. Well, I'll tell you what, if you get 200 viewers today, even if you like and share the hell out of this, put it in every Facebook group you want. I'm not jumping in that little, what do you call it? Fountain. So, Colin Johnson, no, and now I've got wet hands and I can't touch the screen. So, Stevie Hinks says, morning Phil, took my 7-year-old daughter to her first game yesterday. She wanted to be in the Union FS lot. Also loved the pitch invader. Steve Hinks, not a bad first game to take your daughter to, a Leicester win at least. Carl Coles is watching in Cyprus. Hope you're enjoying it a bit warmer than me today, Carl. Get your views in. Nick Moore says, not Mitrovic. We may as well use Slimani. I don't think Slimani will ever play for Leicester again, Nick. From what I hear, rumours, but Nick, that Slimani has completely fell out with all the players and management at Leicester City and will never play for Leicester City again, even though we are paying most of his wages while he's on loan at Monaco. Neil Birchenough has come back on Bowen from Hull. He's saying for a wide player, he has a very good goal scoring record. Thank you for that, Neil. Thank you for that. Alan Jones saying, don't ever want to be in a playoff final again. No, I don't. Well, I hope we're not, Alan, but if we are, trust me, they are amazing fun. How many of you have been to a playoff final? If you've been to a playoff final, give us a thumbs up like, and I'll see that on there. I'll see that you've been. Let's see how many of you have been to one of the playoff finals. If you've never been to a playoff final but would love to go to one, give us the heart emoji, let us know. So heart emojis for you've never been to a playoff final but you'd love to go. Let's see how many of you have been like I've been. Give us a thumbs up like on this. They are the most exciting matches you've ever been to, because it's, if you win a cup at Wembley, it's great. Oh, we've won the League Cup, we can have a parade, we can enjoy that, we can put it on the history blocks. If you play in a playoff final at Wembley and you lose, you know you've got the next 12 months to do it all again. There's 12 months of pain of playing in the Championship again. If you win it, the glory is 12 months or more in the Premier League. There's so much right on a playoff final at Wembley. It's just so exciting. And Leicester have been involved in some of the most exciting playoff finals ever at Wembley. I've got to be honest, I think it was the 96 playoff fight. Was it 96 Silence of the Lambs? That's still, I know we've won the Premier League, but for me, the best game ever is Silence of the Lambs. And closely followed by that is, believe it or not, the Swindon defeat. And then probably higher than the Swindon defeat is the Palace win. It's off his shin, it's in, Spider Calac. They're the three top games in my life, probably. Even though we've played in the Champions League, even though we've won the Premier League, and just the playoff finals, there's something about them. If you agree with me, let me know. Good morning to Sanjay, who's watching. How are you, mate, Sanjay? Brett saying, lift the garden gnome like the trophy. You've spotted the gnomes, Brett. Shh, my little secret. Ross says 1,000 views and you're around the garden in your pants. I don't think there's any danger of 1,000 views today. Luke Harrison saying, I think part of the reason he's picking up injuries is through lack of match fitness. Oh, this is replying to Mark. Talk about maybe Wes Morgan. Nick Moore saying we don't play long ball, so no use for a big man. Talk about my shout of Mitrovic coming in. Rudy Ahern, how are you, Rudy? Watching, are you still out in, I think it's Cyprus, isn't it, Rudy? You are. Jason Tight says, problem always is whatever striker comes in is going to be behind Vardy for a good few seasons yet, hopefully. I agree with you, Jason, but as we've seen this season, Brendan Rodgers is going to mix things up, and let's hope we're in Europe next season. Europa League, Champions League. If we are, we need quality in depth, and I think now's the time to start to attract that second striker. You could say to somebody like Mitrovic, look, you're going to have to break into the Premier League side, but you're going to get some run-outs in League Cups, in FA Cup matches, in potentially the Champions League. Come and play. Why would you not want to leave Fulham to come and play at Leicester City? Of course he would. I just think it's a different option. But I agree, he probably doesn't fit into Brendan Rodgers' mould. Coming back to the playoffs, Jasmine Rugg has said 94 was Silence of the Lambs. Thank you for that, Jasmine. And Aggie says best playoff game was Swindon, although we lost, the game had everything. It did. It really did. It was fantastic. It was just shame. Rudy Ahern said 94. Thanks for that. Andy Panier has said Chowdhury has got good confidence now. I think Hamza Chowdhury is ever so unlucky this season that he's got Wilfred Ndidi just one step in front of him in the team. Ndidi is having an amazing... I'm surprised. Keep it under your hats. I'm surprised nobody has come in for Wilfred Ndidi as yet, because he is having a sensational season, and one of the main reasons Leicester, I think he's better than Kante now. I honestly do. I think he's better, slightly different player, but the way he breaks up the game, Wilfred Ndidi having a fantastic season for Leicester. Hamza Chowdhury is paying the penalty slightly because he's got such a good player in front of him. Back to the playoff chit-chat. David Hart says, the name Spider Calac still sends shivers down my spine. One of the most exciting moments, seeing Spider Calac come on and then glance the other way and see Stevie Claridge stroke that ball off his shin. The second of silence that everybody says happened, and it did, when it hit the back of the net. Jamie is watching for the Foxes Yard. Jamie, how am I covering your show? Let me know. Are you in the airport? Have you got that first pina colada yet? While we're all drinking tea. I'm doing the show outside, just like Jamie told me to. Just like he does, except it's a bit nippy here in Leicestershire. Anyway. Still got dogs barking, if you can hear them, just like Jamie does out in Spain. Nothing changes. Good morning to you, Jamie, yes. Chappers is on here. Hi, Chappers says, our decade view video will be ready this week, and it's looking fantastic. So Chappers has been working ever so hard on that. Luke Cragg says, let's pull out all the stops for Timo Werner be a class buy if we want to keep competing at this high level. Tom's watching. Hi Tom, how are you? Tom Hoger. Want to get you back on, Tom. Let me know if you're available. Jasmine Rugg says, will Vardy be back against Villa? Is he still injured? I think he's had a slight calf injury. No reason at all to play him against Wigan yesterday. We didn't need to risk him. Let's get him fit, hopefully for the Villa game, and see how he goes from that. Ross Howard says, get Andre Bellotti from Torino. That guy is insane on both feet. That's a shout from Ross. Luke Harrison, I know what you mean here as well. Luke says, a long shot, but Giroud can score goals and is down the pecking order at Chelsea. I still think he can do a job, been there and done it. Luke, I would agree with you as well. I think Giroud could come to Leicester. He is rumoured to be wanting to leave this January, certainly now that Chelsea can enter the transfer market. So Giroud would be a shout for me. By the way, on the reverse of that, still these niggling little rumours of Chilwell to Chelsea. I know a few of you are not the biggest Chile fans, but for me, he is a fan. I highly rate Ben Chilwell, and I think he is part of our current team and part of our future. So I certainly wouldn't want to see Ben Chilwell go, regardless of what crazy money comes out there. Tom is saying need to get the grass cut. Tom, listen, you're the expert on grass. Thank you. I do. Needs a bit of who's been doing gardening this time of year, Tom? There's been far too much of that going on and eating. So I can't cut the grass yet. Carl Cole says, Blackburn playoff final was my first. Carl, I don't mind admitting it. I did cry at Wembley that day. I think I was quite drunk. I was in my early 20s, and it took me all my life to get to see Leicester at Wembley for the first time. And when David Speedie dived and they scored that goal and we didn't score, shocking. Tom Hoger says we should never have let Chris Woods leave. Tom, there's loads of players like that who we shouldn't have let leave. I saw Anthony Knockaert scored yesterday for Fulham. Always look out for knockers. Massive fan of him. I wish we'd never sold Anthony Knockaert. I still think you could do it in the Premier League, but those days are gone. Jamie from the Foxes says he's just getting on the plane. Bon voyage, Jamie. Enjoy the flight. Have a safe one. Jason Mills says, Zelko Kalak, probably spelled wrong. Yeah, I think it is spelled wrong. The only keeper in history to play in a Wembley final and not touch the ball. Is that real? I mean, he didn't touch it, I don't think. Mark Gazzard says, I would love a trip to Wembley this year. Come on, you Blues. Jasmine Rugg says, I think we played really well yesterday. Tom saying he can start doing Monday nights with us. Great. Tom, tomorrow night, let's get you on. You and me, we'll chat. We'll do the Fan Zone show 7:30 every Monday, trying to get the timings right. Ross says, don't let anybody from Forest Green deal with your grass because they'll eat it. Liam Batchelor says, Barcelona's supposed to be scoring Ricardo. Hate to see him leave. Listen, James Justin has played ever so well at right back, but Ricardo Pereira has been sensational. Ricardo Pereira's probably been the player of the season for me so far. Again, could he play at Barcelona? I think he's good enough to play at one of these top sides. But listen, we're second in the Premier League. We're trying to become one of the top sides. So the longer we can keep hold of James Maddison, Ricardo Pereira, Soyuncu, Tielemans, all these, the longer we can keep hold of what other people would class as top players, the more chance we've got of becoming that team. So Liam, I hope Barcelona keep their paws off him. Gray Richardson saying, did no one see Brendan's comments? No one will be leaving unless the club want them to leave. There will be no one leaving, i.e. Chilwell, Kaggs and any others. I agree with you, Gray. Listen, the trouble with a manager saying that is, as ever, as we've seen before, if a player really wants to go, they make it pretty clear that they want to go. And players rule at the moment. It's been like that for a few years. That's just the way football works at the moment. Craig Jones says he loves knockers. Did I say that, Craig? Did I really say I love knockers? Oh dear. Sorry, Jamie, letting you show down. We're talking about knockers. Anthony Knockaert, of course. Luke says Chilwell is a vital part of this team building together. He seems to be making more runs and does the basics well and consistently, but yet gets stick. Jason Mills says he cried at Wembley against Swindon. I was all right in that because I felt we at least scored and gave it a real go. Tom says Benkovic looked brilliant yesterday. Sad to see him go off injured. Don't know how bad his injury is, Tom. Does anybody know how bad he is? Ross says Max Gradle leaving was bad at 150k. Was the only thing Pearson did bad at Leicester. I was MK Dons. Oh, Tom's replying to Ross there. Dale Hines says, did I just see Nigel Pearson hiding in the bushes behind you? I don't think you did, Dale. I don't think you did. Craig Carver says, Maddison going Man United and we're supposed to be getting Lingard. I think that's just absolute nonsense, if you ask me, Craig. James Maddison, I don't think he... listen, I'm not saying he won't go to Man... Not this transfer window, and not for £45 million. Get lost. I don't want Jesse Lingard and £45 million. Morning to Lee Geeson, how are you? Jason Tite says, how about Daniel Sturridge? Previous links to him, Rodgers likes him, doing well given a decent run of games, albeit a Turkish side. For me, Jason, it's a no to Daniel Sturridge. Just gets injured too much. Players like Daniel Sturridge and not Andy Cole. My brain's gone. Come on, help me out. My brain's gone. Newcastle, tall striker. I just can't remember his name. Ponytail. Blooming heck. When you get to my age and your brain's... Andy Carroll. Andy Cole. I'm living in 1997. Andy Carroll, Daniel Sturridge, Welbeck. Thank you, Liam Batchley. Yes, Carroll and Jason. Andy Carroll, Danny Welbeck. These players, they just can't keep it. And not being funny, this is why I say about Matty James. It's just time to let Matty James move on for me. I know he's coming back to fitness, but just can't stay fit long enough to get a decent run. Craig Jones saying Sturridge is talented but made of glass. Darren Thompson saying hello from Darren and the boys celebrating another win in Hinckley. Happy days. Coventry next round, please. Nice little trip. Mind you, I was going to say, Darren, Coventry in the Cup. Nice little short trip down the M69 to Coventry. They don't even play in Coventry anymore. They play at St Andrews, don't they? So a slightly further trip away. Neil says, is it a brain freeze outside broadcast? It's cold. It's cold. Jamie sits at the Fox's Arms in Alcudia, sipping his tea in the sun, going, oh, it's a bit 18 degrees today. He always sends us photos just on the beach today. It's not that warm. It's only 18, 20 degrees. The rest of us are in rainy old Leicester. But we're keeping warm. Mitrovic and Fulham would be good, says Craig Carver. Don't get me started on that. Auntie Karen says, Andy Carroll, no way. No, listen, I'm not for 1 second saying we should get him. I'm saying these sorts of players are not right for Leicester. Alex says, Andy Carroll is just a show pony. Would never want him at the King Power. No, I wasn't saying get him back. Danny Wallen says, now, here's a name for you. Here's a name to stir the pot. I'd rather have Drinkwater back than Lingard. What has happened to Danny Drinkwater? What a mess. What a sad story that looks like for Danny Drinkwater. Honestly, he... a legend in my books for what he did for Leicester City. I've shouted before to get Danny back to Leicester. There's a bit of me says get Danny Drinkwater back to Leicester to help him out and sort him out. But I know most of you would disagree with that. And just a mess. Gone to Burnley. Not worked out for him there. Back at Chelsea. I know he's on a fat pay packet, but what a shame for somebody who was at their peak with Leicester City and, you know, on the verge of England. All absolutely went wrong. That was obviously a disastrous move for Danny Drinkwater and Chelsea. It happened on transfer deadline day back in that summer, and it's just a shame. I think it was perhaps a bit of a snatched purchase from Chelsea, a snatch sale from Leicester. Obviously, we tried to get Adrian Silva in on that same day, which all, as we know, was 14 seconds long with the paperwork. Liam Batchelor says Drinky wouldn't even get in the current squad. Liam, I don't know where he would slot into the current squad. Auntie Karen says she'd have Drinky back. I think I'd have Drinky back for sentimental reasons, but I'm not sure he would. I'm not sure he would fit into the team. I think he's got a lot of issues going on. Jason Mills says, Drinkwater arrival at Watford with Big Nige imminent in this window. Heard it here first. Jason, I think that's a great shout. I think Nigel Pearson would be the sort of manager who could hopefully... I think that's a great shout, Jason. In fact, I hope it happens for Danny Drinkwater. I hope he does go to Watford and work with Nigel Pearson. I think that's great. I think that's a great shout. Craig Carver saying Kante made Drinky look better than he actually was. I think Kante made most of the team look better than they actually were, if I'm honest with you, Craig. I think Kante made Robert Huth and Wes Morgan look better than they probably actually were. So no shocks there. Listen, thanks for joining me here on the Foxes Aftermath show. I know I've not done nearly the job that Jamie does for you on a Sunday morning, but hopefully we've had some good chat. Join me tomorrow on my regular show, which is the Fan Zone show, 7:30 on. We're going to be streaming tomorrow on everywhere: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere. Hopefully Tom's going to join us, Tom Hoger. So we'll be going back to a bit of chit chat with Tom and myself on there tomorrow night at 7:30. So thanks for watching this video. Don't forget, follow Jamie at the Foxes Arms on Twitter and Facebook. Go out and see him when the pub reopens next April. Like and share this video if you can. Join me tomorrow night. My name's Phil. This is Leicester Fan TV. I am not Jamie from the Foxes Arms. Good evening, good morning. Gonna get myself warmed back up. Final shout outs to everybody who's been watching. Liam Batchelor, Gray Richardson, Ross Howard, Jasmine Rugg, thank you for watching. Auntie Karen, Craig Carver, Jason Mills and Alex Green, Carlos Gonzalez. So many of you watching today. Alan Jones, Luke Harrison, Gray Richardson, Ian Betts, Danny Wallen, Alex Green, Chris Tidd, Braden, Owen, hi Braden, Neil Birchenough, Darren Thompson, Jason Tite, all of you. Thanks for watching. From me, Phil, Leicester Fan TV. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Come on, Leicester.